I turned my phone off. Welcome to the August 23rd Rotary Club of Brentwood meeting. It's so good to see all the happy, smiley faces on this beautiful weather. I hope everybody's going to have a great weekend. It's going to be a great meeting. We get to hear from Banks Hickman and Bob Thompson today. It's going to be exciting. Exciting, yes. All right, we're going to have invocation by Jason Hulse, pledge four-way test by Jennifer Bourne. And Jason, there you go.
All right, please bow your head with me. Lord, we're thankful for this day that you've given us, for its blessings, its opportunities, its challenges. May we appreciate and use each day that comes to us. We pray for strength and guidance for each day as it comes, for each day's duties, for each day's problems. May we be challenged to give our best always, and may we be assured of your presence with us. Be with those Rotarians and family members that are ailing, could not be with us today. Bless this club, our leaders, and today's meeting in your name. Amen.
All right, please face the flag. I pledge allegiance.
Flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the four-way test. Number 1.
Good.
Number 2.
Very well concerned.
Number 3.
Better friendships.
Number 4.
Beneficial to all concerned.
Number 5.
All right, introduction of guests and visiting Rotarians by our club secretary, Jennifer. You're doing it. Jennifer Bourne's doing it today.
All right, we've got some guests here today. I'll start over on this side of the room. This is he's almost an honorary member. Buddy, you want to say anything?
My guest is Billy Stewart, long-time Nashvilleian. Many of you already had a chance to meet with him in the last couple of 3 weeks. He's from really grew up in Thompson City, Tennessee. Buddy Stewart.
Hey.
My guest is Brendan Denny. Brendan has been a friend of the family since he was in kindergarten, and he went through the Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts with my sons, became an Eagle Scout. He now lives in Spokane, Washington, and so he's out visiting for the week.
Glad to have you. Awesome.
Okay, Rob Eichert is here.
That usually happens when I stand up.
Oh, that was an introduction.
Jennifer Rain has been bringing me around. She's not here today, so I just thought I'd pop in for lunch, but it's been great to have been with you all for the past few weeks. Thank you.
Glad to have you.
Okay, Banks.
So today, I have Joe Schifani with me. He technically is my boss, but before that, we were family and friends, so I don't like to just look at it that way. But he came up here this weekend to help me move, and he knew I was speaking, so he just took advantage to be able to hear me talk more.
He gets to critique you.
Welcome. All right, we've got one more over here, Kip.
This is great friend Brandon Lynn. His parents own Poolins, and he created and owns Steam Boys, the dumpling restaurant, which is amazing if you haven't been there. We've been wonderful friends for a long time, and he's an amazing golfer too. He's going to be at our he's amazing at showing up and donating to our club, and we also know each other because we're on other volunteer boards. So thank you for coming, Brandon.
All right. Did I get everybody? I think I did.
Is that it? Awesome. Awesome. Mark Lobliner, Mark's gonna do Happy Bucks today.
All right.
Get us going.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? This is weak, dude. Come on. What's going on, everybody? right, we got to get happy. So we have a pretty thin crowd here. So we're gonna have to give extra money because this club is hurting we need some money. Can't let the golf tournament just carry us the whole way. We got you, bro.
We had a lot of brave souls come out and do some skydiving on Saturday. Laura took a video. Let's watch it. Thank you, Laura, for donating that video. I'm sure you didn't know I was going to play it. Yeah. But we had a great time. There were, I think, 11 of us total, most of them 12. Most of them from this club. A couple of us brought a couple other friends and family. Anyway, it was a great time. Thank you for coming out. We're going to do this every August. So some of you out here are thinking, that's on my list. I'm going to do that someday. I'm going to keep asking you. Every August, I'm going to keep asking you. Every month, probably not every month. All right,
Laura,
thank
Laura,
you.
was that a perfectly good airplane? It was flying fine. Okay.
Man, look at that invisible donation. I like it. I like it. PayPal me.
Charles,
Hey,
Venmo.
two things. I was
Venmo.
going to go, but I had to move my daughter into college. Legit excuse. Secondly, very brave wearing the light colored pants. Because if you would have soiled yourself, that would have made for an even more epic. We could have gone viral with that. That would have gained a ton of money for the club. Next time, everybody wear white pants. And we will go viral. Oh, here we actually have some money. Let's go.
Hi. I brought this today because my daughter just got finished with her trip to Paris for the Olympics.
Oh,
And this is my gift upon her return. One of the things that she was over there for, especially, was to see the equestrian events, because she and this woman and their families used to ride horses back in high school and college days together. And that's the main reason that they went to Paris, was to see the equestrian events that took place for part of the Olympics. And this hat was part of the Irish equestrian team's hat.
awesome.
Aaron Gobrat, our heritage is Irish. My family comes from the west of Ireland, just north of Galway, and we visit there quite frequently. And I'm always very happy when I come back from there. Thank you.
Awesome.
Sounds like fun. Who do we got? Oh, I don't think I could fit. Huh. I ate too much chicken. I can't. Okay, here we go.
I just wanted to start a GoFundMe for a second helmet.
A second helmet. Oh,
Oh, yeah, Laura, how come you didn't have a helmet on? He did? I saw it on Facebook and I'm thinking, are you not as important as he is, or what's the deal?
no helmet and white pants. YOLO. Let's go. Who do we got over here? Anybody at this table? Anybody over here? Anybody? Man, this is we got $2. All right. $2 and an IOU.
That's called an Allen dollar. It'll get around. Just to echo what Charles said, just big congratulations, or well, thank you, I guess, for organizing it. That was awesome, and I loved how we got to all jump, and then really excited because basically Jane is all but committed for next time. So I mean, I'm really pumped about that. Like, she's a courageous woman. So Jane, we'd love to have you.
There we go. Anybody? Oh, here we go. Let's go. Oh, look at that.
Whoa.
All right, I want to say I'm sorry for not being here last week. I was playing hooky, fishing in Alaska. We brought back, this is our 12th trip. It's my uncle's trip. We've gone for over a decade. We brought back 437 pounds of processed fish, which was
Wow.
actually down from years past. But if anybody's interested in halibut or salmon, like lots. So just let me know. I'm happy to deliver, and it's fresh right out of the ocean.
Wow.
Sounds like, how's the weather in Alaska this time of the year?
It was actually, the weather was nice, but it was windy. So it was like swimming in a washing machine.
Oh,
Sounds enjoyable. Anybody over here? Anybody? Anybody over there? I got one. So I know this is Ravenwood, Brentwood kind of territory, but Legacy of Carbon has been coaching Page football the entire year. They're playing their season opener tonight. So if you want to come see us on the sideline, go hang out, watch our boys bang some heads, kick some butt. It'll be a really good time. So again, I know we don't usually cheer for Page, but like I go where they pay me. So like, yeah, we'll cheer for anybody who pays us. Anybody else? Anybody else? I do have, we got Kip. Kip's breaking out the Brentwood 50 right there. Benjamin, Jefferson, what do we got? Ooh, did who?
It was the smallest I got at the moment.
Whoa.
At the moment, I wasn't gonna. I couldn't let Happy Bucks end on a other cheer other than a Ravenwood Raptor cheer, because the Ravenwood Raptors are going up against Alcoa. They're traveling to Alcoa. Those guys that recruit from out of county, and they all like, Anyway, should be a good matchup. I'm excited about that.
I'll gladly cheer for anybody for the right price. All right, we got anybody else up here? Okay, we got one more
All
right here.
Last one.
I was saving that for last. That was purposeful.
All right. 2 weeks from Monday, golf tournament, right? Everybody remember that? 2 weeks from Monday. This past week, pretty good week. Here's why. Binks brought in 1. King, Bart, brought in 8.
Oh.
Dale Llewellyn brought in 2. Jared Tanksley brought in 12.
Oh.
And he's just getting started. He told me a while ago, standing over here, oh, I got so-and-so this morning and so-and-so. Did you get my text earlier today about? No. He's like, I got that. So I don't know where he is, but he's turned in 12 to me. So, so in just a second, I'm going to ask Jared to come up front and share something with you that he shared with me the other day that he's using as a technique this year. I also want to thank all of y'all. Susie says our volunteer list is full. That means 30 some odd people in here have volunteered to work that day. That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's make these next 2 weeks eventful. I don't expect you to get 12 or 8. But if you can get 1 or 2 host sponsors, just ask them. Just ask them and listen to where are you? Listen to what he's going to tell you.
I had lunch with Larry on Tuesday, and he asked if I got started yet. I said no. But on Wednesday, I collected 12. And most of the success I'm having is just asking people to support me and the Rotary Club. That way, some people, I know you don't find this hard to believe, and not everybody knows what Rotary is about. So it's easier for me just to ask people to support me. And then I explain Rotary and what we do for the community after the fact. Maybe that might help some of you get a few sponsorships. Try it.
Thank you, Mark.
Not a bad day. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. A few announcements before we dig into it. Next week, guess what y'all are doing next week? You ain't gonna be here. We do not have a meeting next week. It's Labor Day weekend, so don't show up. I will send an email out also probably Wednesday as a reminder. So no meeting next week. We'll definitely be here the following week. Also, don't forget the Golf Classic, but on September 24th, one did send an email out. They're having a Women in Rotary event for Williamson County. We're not sponsoring it, but y'all should go. We're co-sponsoring it? Well, I guess we are. Okay, good. So y'all try to go. Y'all got an email, RSVP. Guys, sorry, I don't think you got an email. So anyway, and don't forget the first responders picnic. That is our meeting that week. So love to have everybody there, not the 20 that showed last year. We're gonna have what, 80 maybe? 90? Yes, that's what we need. So that's it for the announcements, unless anybody else has anything else. All right. So now we get to hear from a few of our members. First, we're going to have Bob Thompson and tell us all about him. And then when Bob's done, Banks is coming up next. Thank you, Bob. Sure, everybody can see that.
That says reserved submariner parking only. Violators will be torpedoed. Good afternoon. I'm Bob Thompson. I live in Franklin near the Battleground Academy and the Mormon Church or the Mormon Temple with my wife, Mariette, and 4 Cavalier King Charles Spaniels. So I brought a model today, which I did not make, and 4 books to help explain myself, none of which I authored. I was born, raised, and educated through high school in San Francisco in the public school system there in the 50s and 60s, to give you an idea about my age. It was a great time to live there. I said my friends were Black, they were white, they were Asian, they were Jewish. San Francisco worked, California worked. When it did, it was beautiful. And we went through our early teenage years not knowing what prejudice was. And I look back and I said, it's a shame that times like those are wasted on youngsters. I spent 4.5 years at Stanford getting a degree in economics. And I'd like to say I redshirted with Jim Plunkett while he was getting the Heisman Trophy. But the reality is that my dad, who had raised me, died during my senior year in high school. And I kind of drifted through college without a lot of focus. So that was where I was. I was at Stanford that I made the most consequential decision of my life, which was I joined a 2-year NROTC program and I served in the Navy. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Well, at Stanford, protesters burned down the NROTC building twice. Okay, so out of my Navy experience came learning how to deal with responsibilities and consequences at a young age, humility that comes from observing so many capable, dedicated individuals whose focus is service, numerous 50-year plus wonderful friendships, and an understanding of how special this country is. So God knows why, but the Navy decided to send me to nuclear power school. Now, keep in mind, my degree was in economics, and I had never seen the inside of an engineering class. Anyone going through the nuclear power program at the time was required to interview with a gentleman by the name of Admiral Hyman G. Rickover. He was known as the kindly old gentleman. Hardly. Okay. I got through mine, but it was, there's a story that goes along with it that I'd be very happy to share with anybody that wants to talk to me later on. Okay. So after nuclear power school, prototype training in Arco, Idaho, and an introduction to introductory course at the submarine school in New London, Connecticut, my active duty assignment was to serve on a new construction submarine crew of the famous USS Kavala, SSN 684. Now you say, hence the model. Anybody wants to see what a submarine looks like? Up close, you can take a look at the model up there. I refer to it as famous as it was the last submarine that was named after a fish. When I was in the Navy, they figured out that fish don't vote. The next one that was put in commission was the USS Leonard P. Lipscomb. He voted in Congress. And the one that was being built right next to me was the USS Richard B. Russell, and he also voted in the Senate. So that's kind of gives you an idea. They got wise to what was going on. They kept us pretty busy and under new construction, so it wasn't a lot of time for socializing. So meeting my love of my life at the time, my wife Mariette, during that time required a lot of making of quick decisions. So we like getting married in within 2 months of meeting each other. Apparently it worked because we'll be celebrating 52 years this September 9th. So once commissioned, the Kavala went off to do what Cold War submarines did. Hence the book here I have. It's Blind Man's Bluff. Anybody wants to take it home with them, feel free to. It's a great story about what submarines did during the Cold War, and I can tell you a lot more than I can about what submarining is all about. Since I was a reservist, I needed to figure out what to do after active duty, and business school sounded like a pretty good idea. So me and a fellow shipmate became two of maybe the only people that ever took graduate school admission courses 400 feet under the ocean as we were returning from patrol. Stanford Graduate School of Business followed, more friends, more memories. Following that, there were 13 years of institutional fixed income, think bonds, trading and sales. I started with Solomon Brothers in 1977. It was a fascinating time. Quantitative trading, mortgage-backed securities were being developed, and Solomon Brothers was right at the center of it. It had a great culture when I started, but the company transitioned away from Solomon family managing it, and it came under a hard-driving trader by the name of John Goodfriend. The culture changed. To read about that change, book number 2, which is Liar's Poker. If anybody would like to read about that, I knew about most of the characters that are being written about there. Solomon Brothers sold itself eventually to a company called Phillips Brothers, along with the change of the culture. And so I left for another company called Lehman Brothers. It was another great time at that point in time as the bond markets continued to evolve. Zero coupons came along, collateralized mortgage obligations were developed. However, Lehman Brothers had a single trader who brought them to a near-death experience. And the next thing I knew, Shearson Brother brought Lehman Brothers, another change of culture, another move. This time I found a company that promised that they would never sell themselves, and they were good to their word. Instead, they gave me a new exit strategy by failing. Okay. Specifically, Drexel Burnham Lambert filed for bankruptcy in February 1990. So, but not before I had viewed and participated in the stunning growth of what was called the junk bond market. So that was fun too. By then, I knew that I wanted to align myself with my clients a little better and to help them prosper and be compensated for that. I opened up an investment management firm with a good friend from graduate school, but after about 2 years, I realized that with 4 mouths to feed at home, it might be nice to have a job that paid me money. So I spent my final 23 years in the financial industry for a firm called Dodge & Cox in San Francisco. I loved it there. The founders had a mantra. One was to know who your clients were, and 2 was to do the right thing. I helped manage the fixed income and balanced portfolios. And I think when I retired in 2025, I think we had about $100 billion under management. While there, I earned my CFA degree, which is a CFA degree. It's a chartered financial analyst. It's sort of like a CPA for investments. I became the president of the CFA Society of San Francisco, and we founded a nonprofit called Bay Area Financial Education Foundation. And then I took on the most challenging core job of my life after retirement, which was helping my son run a fixed base operator known colloquially in the aviation business as an FBO. You can think of it as the care and feeding of private airplanes, gasoline, storage, maintenance, training. It's a difficult, expensive, frustrating business. It taught me how arduous it is to manage and make money running a small business, particularly under a difficult municipal California environment. For those of you who manage small business, and I know there's a lot of you in Rotary, I salute you. I admire you. So after 70 plus years in California, well, at least for me, 50 plus for my wife, we moved from California to Tennessee in 2021. We have never looked back, nor regretted the move. This is a marvelous place to live. Made so by the people who populate it. So how do I spend my time these days? And why do I feel as though I've never been so busy? Well, I am significantly involved in the Church of Good Shepherd, which is just up the road. I'm the president of the Carolina Coast Homeowners Association. I am the commander of the Continental Commandery of the Naval Order of the United States. If any of you really care about history, I'd be very happy to give you an application. And I work at County volunteer firemen by helping with their the rehab unit, which is called Box 94. But the most fun I have, I must say, is after all these years, I am finally a Rotarian. So if you read the August Rotary, there's a very good article in there called "You've Got a Friend." So that kind of captures the reason that what I find so appealing. So I'm new to Rotary, and I would like to thank Linus, who invited me to the 2023 pancake breakfast, and to Sona Robinson. I don't know if she's here today, but for so kindly sitting down and explaining to me what Rotary was all about at that pancake breakfast. The motto of service above self resonates with me to the core. And one of these days, I'm gonna memorize the 4-way test so that I don't have to sit at a table where I can read it off the banner. Okay. So my final 2 books are, let's see, Charles, I'm so glad you're here, because when are we going to go eat again? 100 Things from Nashville. And I don't think Charles is here, Chuck is here today, but I would just like to say that I read Chuck's book as Bible, and I believe it. Bow tie Bible. That's it. Thank you.
Okay. No, but thank you guys for allowing me to do this today. I was actually supposed to do it back in May, but I got a last minute call to head down to Tallahassee to remove a bunch of trees. So I know you guys have been dying to hear me speak, but I'm here today, so you don't have to hold your breath anymore. Today, I really was just going to tell you guys a little bit about myself and then how I wound up in this great city, because I have wanted to be here for a long time, which I'll get into that more. But just to start, I was born and raised in Roswell, Georgia. It's a great little town just north of Atlanta. Couldn't have been more blessed with the family that I actually was given there, between my mom and dad, or Roy and Susan, as everyone else calls them. My 2 older brothers, Brent and Brian, my 2 sister-in-laws, Lauren and Kristen, and my 4 and soon to be 5 nieces, Adelaide, Albury, Miles, and Savannah. I don't know what they're gonna name the last one, so hold on for that. But that does make me the fun uncle, which is great because I just get to see their fun side and they just get to see my fun side. So it's a win-win for everybody. And so far, based off what I've seen, parenting looks pretty easy. So I think I'll be all right. My mom does keep bugging me, asking me when I'll have kids of my own and carry on the name with a boy. And every time I'm just like, enjoy the ones you have, like I'm saying that I plan on having my own, but I've got time. I plan on taking advantage of my 20s. I'm sorry. So yeah.
But growing up there, I like to think I had a very normal childhood. I just played a bunch of sports, really. My dad's been a coach for about 38 years now, so which was great. It made me easy to go hang out with dad at practice all day. Really just stuck around with football and wrestling as I got older, but obviously being from Georgia, I'm a huge Dogs fan. So I know you guys are really fond of that university here. So I do think, I don't see Betsy or Chris, but I do appreciate them being my fellow Dogs. Which speaking of Alan, we are traveling to Oxford this year. So if you want to go watch a butt whooping together, I'd be more than happy to do that. I only say that to Alan because Ole Miss has been in the West until this year. So all the Kentucky and Tennessee fans, y'all are used to losing to us by now. So I don't really have much to say. Bama fans, I can't really say much to you guys. Just pick one mascot. But yeah, that being said, if you guys ever want to go to a Preds game or a Titans game or just go play a round of golf, count me in. That's, that's something I love to do. Other than that, really, being an arborist, I like being outside. I'll go do something crazy like jump out of a plane. Or if you guys just want to go hang out at the pool all day and do absolutely nothing, I'll do that too. I'm great at both. Other than that, really hobby-wise, I like to cook. I'm not good. So if you guys, if you ever wake up one morning and you're like, I think I should make Banks a dish today, don't hesitate. Do it. I'll eat it. And then a little fun fact about me, when I was 10 years old, I went out to Hollywood, got to be in a movie. That was really cool. It was about Little League World Series when Mexico pitched the only perfect game. So that was exciting. I got to meet a bunch of cool celebrities. I thought Hulk Hogan was the coolest one because I was a little kid and WWE was big at that time. And at that time I'm like, oh, I've met my idol. And then I got older and learned a little bit more about him, and I was like, all right, maybe not my idol. But that was really cool. But to get how I got here, I mentioned earlier I've wanted to be here for a long time, really since I was about 16 or 17 when I started looking at where I wanted to go to school because I knew University of Georgia wasn't going to happen. I was able to face reality there. So I started looking outside of state, and really I was just looking at cities of where I wanted to move to. And Nashville and Boulder were the only two. I know that sounds random, but I love to ski. That's my thing. But I kept coming back to Nashville because, it was more like home. It was closer to home. It was more my personality. Plus, there's literally everything you could ever ask for here. And so, when you're a teenager, you think you have life completely figured out. You got the answer to every question because life doesn't throw curveballs. And then so I eventually chose Western Kentucky because my whole plan was, all right, I'll move from Western down to Nashville. It'll be that easy. But I actually ended up getting sick. I had to move back home. And so I was like, all right, new plan. I'll just finish school at Kennesaw State and then I'll move to Nashville once I'm done. And then about a month before I graduated, something called COVID happened. And at this point, I kind of gave up. I was like, what, maybe I don't have life figured out. So I just kind of went with it. And after about, I would say a month and a half of just getting told no by every job possibility, my good friend Joe gives me a call and he's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, not too good. I was like, I'm living at home with mom and dad. I've got no money. I was like, things have looked up before. And he was like, well, I just opened up my company about a little less than a year ago at that time. He's like, I'm hiring. I can give you a week trial, see how you like it. And I was like, Joe, as much as I appreciate your week trial, I don't care. I'll be there on Monday. And we both giggled, but I was being honest. I showed up the next week and started working right away. And after about a month and a half of doing it, I fell in love with it. And it wasn't even really the work that I was doing. It was who I was working for. Because I know you guys have met Josh before. And when you really get to know Josh, you learn fairly quickly that he's a phenomenal person to have in your corner. And then Joe, he married my cousin, was it 10 years ago, right? Yeah, 10 years ago. So obviously we became good friends. We've got very similar interests. Last time, he has long hair now because I can't grow mine out, but we always used to joke that I'm the mini me to his Dr. Evil. But anyway, so working for both of them was phenomenal, which I think is overlooked when it comes to jobs today. But yeah, I think about, what was it? Little over 2 years with Jarvis Tree Experts. Josh comes up to me and he says, "Hey, I want to open up a branch in Nashville and I want you to go up there." And you can picture my face. You know, I've been trying to come here for almost 10 years and I'm now getting this opportunity. I looked like Doc Brown from Back to the Future. Like my face was just, which that's an 80s reference. So you guys might not be old enough to know what that is. But it's a great movie with Michael J. Fox. You should look it up. I think you'd enjoy it. I know how to win a crowd over. What can I say? But yeah, no, as soon as you said that, I was like, I'll start packing right now. I really don't care. And he was like, well, you know, pump the brakes. We got to actually go up there and find a place and all that. And he asked me if I knew anybody moving up here. And I was like, really? I've got 2 buddies that went to Western with me. So outside of that, no. But I was like, I don't care. Wherever you send me, I'll make friends, you know, somehow, some way. Which is part of the reason why I wanted to get involved with Rotary, is so that way I could meet people outside of just going down on Broadway, you know. There's a lot more to the city than just that. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to, you know, what this group holds for my future. And I think it'll be really great. So I appreciate you guys for allowing me into your group. What's ironic is last year, the last weekend of August was one of my first meetings here. So the fact that I'm talking literally an exact year later is kind of ironic. I don't have anyone to thank for inviting me here. I do have Charles to thank because I showed up to the 50th anniversary banquet. Wasn't even a member yet. And someone went up to the podium and they were like, you know, thank you guys so much. Because of all you, we're able to, you know, have this experience. And Charles just looked at me and he goes, except for you. You don't matter. And I was like, all right, I already feel welcomed. I think I can get along with this group. So yeah, again, thank you guys for allowing me to do this. And I really look forward to what's to come.
Thank you, Bob and Banks. Appreciate it. We are going to get out early today. Hey, anybody got any questions? Questions? Well, we know. You want to hear him say it? Say it.
You know, I spent 70 years there in California, and I found that it became increasingly oppressive. It was when you would get out, it was like it was like water torture after a while. The infrastructure, they forgot about it about 50 years ago. So, I mean, to go anywhere, you were always in traffic. People were becoming somewhat mean-spirited, I thought, from my perspective. People ask me about why, how do you like Tennessee? And I said, I love Tennessee. I said, what's so good about it? And they said, the people are great. And they said, well, explain to me. What do you mean people are great? I said, well, you drive down the freeway and you signal that you'd like to change lanes. Guess what happens here? You say, I don't. They said, they let you in. And he said, no. And that gives you the culture that you find out here. I've talked to Linus about this. There's a lot of churches out here. And the difference in churches out here is that people go to them. You know, and I explained that sometimes you have traffic cops on Sunday. And I think that culture of hearing what's important once a week transmits itself to the way people treat each other. It's a great place. So thank you.
guess this question is for both of you, but what about joining the club made you feel most connected as a new member?
I thought these events that come up, I joined too late for last year's golf tournament, but the distributing food up at Waverly, that was one. And then what was the Harpeth River cleanup? Where's Patrick? Patrick somewhere. And then reading to the first grade kids is to die for. If you haven't done it, you should do that. And just the opportunities to get out and see and meet people. I was we were helping with scooping ice cream for the seniors. I love scooping ice cream for seniors at my age.
The older people.
No, there was a lot of opportunities. That's what made me feel connected wherever Laura is.
Mine's actually similar because when I first got here, I was really trying to figure out which Rotary I actually wanted to be in. So the first one I actually went to was the Franklin night one. And then I came here. And then not even the first week, we were going to Waverly. And that's where Shane and I met. And Kathy, which is I think she's their vice president, right? She was the president. Okay, so she was the president, and you beat Kathy. Yeah, she literally said to Jane, she's like, "Did you hear he's going to join our group?" And Jane, no, he actually just put an application for us, so not happening. But then to do the Little Harper, because obviously environmental projects, being an arborist, I wanted to get more involved with that. So that's why I started working with Alice Hill project going there too, because I obviously wanted to do outside events. I mean, I did love, stuff like Pancake Day, but don't get me wrong, if I can do something that involves what I do, then I'm sorry.
Anybody else? All right. I want to thank our guest, Brendan, Brandon, Joe, Rob, and Buddy. Thank you very much for coming. Love to have you back again. Safe trip back to Washington. So don't forget to stack the chairs in 8. And if there's not anything else for the good of Rotary, we are adjourned.